Hey, broads, it's your girl, Queen ShanShan, on a broadcast podcast, and I am back with new tea. But this tea tastes a little different. I was asked by many of you to talk about what is going on in our new world, the COVID-19 world, and how many people are experiencing this new way of life. We will be interviewing all sorts of people on this podcast and practicing our social distancing while I call on them and have some really in depth conversations. From mothers to fathers, from teachers to doctors, nurses to businessmen and women all alike. What is their take on how they're living in the coronavirus era? So sit back and relax, and thank you for listening to Abroad. This is your girl, your favorite Queen ShanShan from A Broadcast Podcast, and we are back for some new segments, some new tea, and making sure that we are in our community. And we have a brand new guest. We have brand new formats, and I'm so glad you are with us today. We have on our show today Amanda Linton. Hi, Amanda.
Hello, good morning.
How are you doing in this new era of the COVID-19 and the whole coronavirus thing? How are you doing?
I'm good. Truly, this might be the highlight of my week. I'm sitting in my car parked outside of my in-laws' house with my hot coffee and in silence, and it's honestly amazing.
Amanda, tell the audience who you are and what you do and what's going on with you right now.
Yeah, so I actually am going to be 30 on Monday. Who would have thought? I'm going to celebrate my 30th birthday in quarantine.
Happy birthday! In quarantine, yeah.
Yes. I'm married to my high school sweetheart. We have been married it'll be 11 years in June. We have 3 beautiful kids. They're 8, 6, and then my youngest is going to be 3 next month. So we're busy, and we're just taking this quarantine life in. Let's see. I was a teacher last year. I did a job share, and then before that, I subbed throughout Altaloma School District for now 8 years. So always in and out of the classroom and just making really good connections with teachers and but also being able to be home with my kids. So it's been really great.
It's been really great. And you are now housewife, you're a full-time mom, and then your husband, Brian, is working full-time, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. So what I wanted to do in this podcast and future podcasts is really get into the community and what people are thinking, what people are feeling during this unprecedented times. I've never been through this type of situation in my life. You have not. My parents have not. Even though they're 78, 79 years old, they've never seen anything like this either. This is all new. Until the Spanish flu, which happened in the early 1900s, no one that I've known has ever experienced any type of isolation, self-isolation, social distancing like this before. So it's affecting us in so many ways, emotionally, mentally, definitely physically, and economically. Yeah. So I wanted to get your perspective, since you are a teacher, and I don't know if you're going to go back to being teaching after this, but you are still considered a teacher. What is your teaching perspective? Because all the schools now around the country are closed, and now this is forcing parents, single parents. It's forcing the guardians to be these homeschoolers, and they don't know what they're doing, or some of them are not even educated enough to teach their own children. They're expecting all the apps and the computer apps to help get their children's curriculum together. But in your perspective as a teacher, how is this going to impact the children's education from here on forward?
Yeah, I think the first week that it happened, it was like, okay, like full teacher mode, like I can do this. I've done this a million times before. Like, let me whip out my lesson plan book. And it was like, okay, we're going to try to stay with what you do at school. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that we're going to make as parents being home with our children during this time is that they're not at school. They're at home. It's a completely different environment. So I think that that's number one, the first thing that I had to like separate myself with as far as like teacher and mom. But I think that from a teacher perspective, I think that the most important thing that we're going to be able to do for our kids during this time is just read with them. I think that it's so important to instill a love of reading at such a young age. And even for the parents that are working full-time, on your breaks, take a second, get your snack, sit down with your kids, read them a story. My kids love to listen to stories, whether it's from me, Brian, they will sit down. I can put the YouTube on the TV and I can go to Story Online. And there's thousands of books that are age appropriate that we'll read to them. So I think that the most important thing during this time as your child's teacher now is to just still keep that love of reading, because even in school, we are, mandated by the state for 90 minutes of ELA time, English Language Arts time, a day. So if anything that you can do for your kids, it's that. And, of course, there's the math facts and there's the apps and things like that. But I think the first and foremost thing that I'm doing for my kids is still, like, practicing the Jesus sight words he's in kindergarten, practicing letting Carson read a chapter of her Ginny B. Jones book out loud to me. And then at breakfast time, I put my laptop on the counter while I'm making breakfast, and I put a story online. And they will all sit there and eat their breakfast and listen to a story. So
how old are your children? How old are your
Carson
children
is 8, Jace is 6, and then Reagan is going to be 3.
Okay. And because Reagan was in preschool, was she in preschool at this time or no?
No, she's home with me all the time.
Okay. So with all 3 children and Reagan being home, are you everybody, all 3 children are still, even though Reagan's 3, being implemented into the reading circle, the reading community in the family?
Oh, yeah. Reagan, she is a little spitfire, man. I mean, she's definitely busy, but she will sit on my lap and I can read to the big kids and she will totally listen and look at the pictures and kind of engage in that way. And not for a long time because she is 3, she's not going to sit and like listen to Ginny B. Jones, which is a kid's chapter book, but she'll definitely engage in younger books.
One question, until we get into our next segment, I definitely want to ask you. The children, high school, junior high, college students, unfortunately, will not be walking down the aisle in June, possibly. There's all graduations have been canceled. It's so heartbreaking. They're not walking down the aisle getting their, diploma in their hand. They're not going to have, unfortunately, the graduation parties and all these things that you and I have definitely done, experienced, and taken advantage of when we graduated from college and high school.
Yeah.
How is that? What is your thoughts on that? And, mothers and fathers wanted to give their children these celebrations and go see them walk down the aisle and cheer them on. What are your thoughts on that?
It is so heartbreaking, Shannon. So Brian is one of 6. So this year, his youngest sister, who I've known since she was 4, is going to be graduating and not have that ceremony. And it is devastating. His oldest of the younger brothers was going to be graduating from NYU and this summer or this spring as well. And I think it's just like heartbreaking because as a family, you want to be able to be there and celebrate these amazing accomplishments, and you still can. But it's like there's something so special about that ceremony, and it's like something that you've looked forward to your entire time going to school. You've been going to school for 13 years, and it's crazy. It's like heartbreaking. I can't even imagine like the emotion that has to be going through these high schoolers and these people in college who have devoted so much time and energy to becoming a graduate, and they don't get the ceremonies that they deserve, What is your advice to them right now? If you were a teacher, college, high school teacher,
what type of soothing words can you encourage them to say right now this time?
I think the most important thing for me is just that we have to be grateful that we are healthy, that our country is taking as many precautions as possible to protect, the people who are immunocompromised and the elderly, and that they will have their time. That when this is over, we are going to make sure we celebrate the hell out of their hard work,
Preach.
and that just to hang in there and continue to have a positive mindset, because you can really get down in this time, especially with this gloomy weather that keeps popping in. It's
yeah, in California, we're having this unprecedented weather in March, and we in Southern California, if you guys who are listening outside the country, in other states, in other countries, we don't get a lot of rain in Southern California. So this has been unprecedented rain. Maybe it's a godsend because it's forcing us to stay home. It's forcing us to self-isolate. It's forcing us to be alienated from the outside until we have to go grocery shopping or get medication when it's necessary to go outside. But it's really interesting. I mean, we're going to have a beautiful summer. We're going to have a beautiful, gorgeous summer.
We sure are. Thank the good Lord. Oh, my goodness. Yes. We sure are. We're going to be celebrating a lot of things in summer.
We're going to be, this summer is going to be busy. Let's just get through this freaking virus and let's enjoy our lives again, because we're going to have a whole
and that's
different
what I want to say to
impact.
Those graduates. Yeah, those graduates. Let's get through this. This is just another obstacle that we're going to go through. And then there's always sunshine, at the end of it. So just hang in there. It's just like finals week, just a little bit longer.
Exactly. So two other aspects I wanted to talk to you briefly is the mother perspective and the wife perspective. You are a mother of three, very small, not very small, but very young children. And how are you, first of all, I would go crazy. I don't know what I would do in a house full of three children. I would probably run off a cliff somewhere. How are you seriously keeping your sanity? You're smiling. You're cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks, and making sure the kids are satisfied. But how is Amanda satisfied? How are you keeping to where you have to literally wake up this next 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how long this have to be, and continue doing what you do?
Yeah, so my kids don't go back to school until May 4th, and that's praying to dear Jesus that actually happens, because we could all use a little separation from each other. But I think the main thing for me is I have a passion for working out and exercising, and I just make sure that is my priority on a daily basis. If not daily, I'm okay, we're going to go on a walk, and we go on a walk, or we go on a hike. Something to just really get my mind in a different place. And I have a little gym set up in the garage, and I will give my kids their iPads, and I'll be I don't care what you go on kids YouTube, play a game, FaceTime friends. But for this time, they are sitting and they are on their pads or quietly or on the trampoline or something while I do this for myself. Because the other, 6 a.m. until Brian gets home at 5, the other 11, 10 hours of the day, I'm completely devoted to them and their needs. And it's so important to keep my mind healthy, because then I can be there for them.
Correct. Correct.
So that's one of the ways I'm staying sane. I also have a schedule, that I try to stick to with them, from 12 to 2. Can I cuss on here or no?
You can use the S word and the B word. No F word. No F bombs.
No F bombs. Okay.
No F bombs.
And everybody laughed at this, and other moms are gonna laugh at this. It's shut shit down time. From 12 to 2, you aren't doing shit. You are sitting in your room. You are playing in your room. Reagan is napping. Carson and Jace are separated. They are watching a show. They are coloring in their room. They're playing. I shut their doors, and that's my time that I get my household stuff done. Or you know what? If I want to sit on the couch and reheat my coffee for the 10th time, that's what I do. And my kids know, you don't mess with shut shit down time. I will beat you. Go to sleep in your bed. Okay?
Wait a minute. I got to write this down. time called again? Was it called?
It's called Shut Shit Down Time, and you shut everything down. The cupboards are closed.
Shut down time. Maybe I should name this title of the show.
Listen, if you don't have shut shit down time in your house, you need to, because that is also my sanity time. It is like quiet time. The cupboards are shut. I made you lunch. You don't get to like get up in class and walk to your lunch pail and get your snack.
Honey,
your cupboards are shut.
Yeah.
Right. Like you are in your room, and sometimes I'll be like, okay guys, like you want to watch a movie with mom, or we can have like the older kids, not Reagan, because I need a break from her. She needs a nap. I need a break. Yeah. Yeah. But I think that that's really important for parents, and it's going to take a little bit of navigating, especially for parents who are full-time working parents, and then now they're like forced to be at home. But like trying to find a schedule that works for you, and so that you can find peace and calm in your home during this time, because that is really important for you and for your kids.
I am really good. There's so many things that's going to come from this quarantine. I'm really interested to find out how many pregnancies we're going to have, how many new births are going to happen in the month. What is it? April, May, June, July, August, September, November, December. There's going to be so many December and January babies this year. It's going to be insane. It's going to be like the new
Merry
year.
Christmas.
So many new pregnancies. I'm interested to find out the ones who were maybe even discussing divorce or separation, and now that the tables have turned, and if they're forced to stay, did they work out their differences? Did they get a chance to communicate? Did they get a therapist? Did they get a type of online therapist unit to say, well, shoot, we can't afford to be on our own anymore. We need to work this out, babes. I'm so curious to find out. So how are you, on the West perspective, how are you and Brian getting some time to yourself?
I think that the most important thing is, well, one, I'm being supportive for him. So he normally has like 13 or 14 employees at their family business warehouse in San Bernardino, and they're down to like a skeleton crew of 4 or 5 consistent workers, including himself. So he's coming home, and they're the busiest. They're having like an incredible month, super busy. So he's pretty stressed. He comes home, and he's exhausted. So I think just trying to be supportive, keep things normal and calm for him. I sound terrible. I'm like, oh, give your kids the iPad, let them watch TV. But like right before he comes home, I'll like settle the kids like on the couch or like at the counter to like color, so that when he walks in, it's not like pure and utter chaos. Just to try to keep things, because sometimes it is. I'm not pretending like I have all the answers, but just to kind of have him walk in, and I'm like cooking dinner, and the kids are kind of a little bit settled, like watching TV or entertaining themselves, and then like that's how he feels love, is like when he has dinner ready, things like that. So that's one thing that I'm doing for him to still feel like things are normal and calm. And then, like I said, I make sure that the kids like are settled or in bed. Usually when the kids go to school, it's like 7:30, 7:45. It's like 8:15, 8:30 right now, just because our schedule is a little bit off. But just making sure that okay, by 8:30, they're in bed, they're not getting out, and then we have our time to have a glass of wine, to watch a show together. The other day we did a Zoom date with some friends just to laugh and chat about things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even though I think we both are so exhausted, 8:30 comes, I literally just want to get in my bed and not move and drool,
drool to sleep.
Yes, just I sit there with my eyes open and scroll through my Instagram feed and drool because I'm just so tired. But it's you have to make time for that person, because Brian is my everything. He is my rock. Oh my gosh, he is my best friend. We make each other laugh. I mean, half the time, it's not all marital bliss, but I think it's so important for you to put your marriage first during this time. Well, obviously, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, so I put my God first and then my marriage. And because if your family unit, your marriage unit isn't tight, then it trickles down to everything else, your kids and all that stuff. So as a wife, I think that, we have a big responsibility here. We're like teacher, we're, parenting, and a lot of us are working, and it's like all three different jobs that cannot be done at the same time, and we put so much pressure on ourselves. So it's really just like making a mental note, like, okay, tonight, be intentional with your time. Tonight, 8:30 to 9:30, it's our time, babe. Like, I'm going to pour us a glass of wine. We're going to cuddle and, like, watch a show or catch up on our day. Just being intentional. Like, I literally will text Brian and be like, tonight's my night, So it's like
good. Very
mentally,
good. Very good.
Yeah,
Those
mentally
good,
preparing
good
yourself.
Points. Okay, so the last point I wanted to cover is you are a woman. We are very known to be nurturers and protectors, and as a woman dealing with this new way of life, excuse me, what is your perspective?
Like you said, I think naturally as a woman we want to nurture, we want to fix things. Women are we see a problem, let me fix it. And I think that's one of the hardest things during this time. It's like you can only do so much. Like, I see these amazing women that are, like, making masks for healthcare workers. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, that is so amazing. Like, look at us. Look at these women who are making care packages for people who they have tiny kids, and they're just out there, like, doing it. I think women are strength in so many ways and on so many levels. We show our capabilities. And I am just blown away. And so I almost feel like, I'm not doing enough, And I think that's one thing that we as women constantly are like, we need to be doing more, But I have to refocus myself that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and as a woman, and as a mom, and as a wife. And I'm holding down the fort here. And so I think that as a woman, we have to a little bit lower expectations of what we're going to accomplish every day because we're human. But also, like, there's just this strength that comes with being a woman during this time. Like, you know what? Hell yeah. I am going to protect my kids. I'm going to hold this quarantine down, and I'm going to be teaching my kids. I'm going to be doing the dishes. I'm going to be a support system for my family. And there's something about that. There's something to be said about that. We do really are the puzzle piece to our households.
Well, I want to tell the audience that you have been strict to the core. No one's coming over. No one's visiting. If you're going to the grocery store, like, does Brian go or you go? How does that work if you have to get up on supplies?
So in the beginning I was going, and now I like call him and I'm like, hey, you have to go. Yeah, you go. And he is so sweet because, like, I think, like, 4 days this week he texts me and he's like, hey, babe, how's it going? And I'm like, staying alive. And I'll, like, send him a picture of a beer that's been opened, like, at 3 p.m., like, I mean, we got to survive this, right? And he'll be like, do you want me to pick up something on my way home? Or you can go get it so you can have some alone time. Like, he's just been really aware of the fact that, like, I have been with the kids from morning until the second he gets home.
24/7. So, you're 24/7 right now.
Yes. So, husbands, if you're out there, or baby dad, if your woman wants to go pick up food and have that alone time with her, let her have that alone time to go pick up some El Pollo Loco for you and your family. But
hey, El Pollo Loco's not sponsoring the show yet.
No, but their chicken salad, oh girl, that is so good. It is so good. I don't know. So anyway, I have been really strict. My mom has a compromised immune system, and then I just feel like I've had a little cold. I'm kind of raspy. The kids have kind of had colds. And so I've been super just like, no, you can't. I'm so sorry. You can't come over. And, like, people have gotten upset. with me over it, or like with Brian. And it's just, you know, it's a small little portion of our life. When we look back on this, it's like, you know, I'm going to be 30 and I had to be quarantined for 3 months of my life. Like, we can do this. It needs to be taken seriously. People are dying left and right. Oh my gosh, watch the videos in New York, people. If you don't believe that this is an epidemic, start believing. I have not had anyone over except for my stepmom, who literally like doesn't leave her house except for to come over and go on a walk and go to the gym, or like work out in my like little garage gym with me. So I feel comforted in that. Like, she's been quarantined and I've been quarantined, and we're not like really going anywhere.
So no one else has been visiting the house at all. Your house is sterile, totally clean, and it's uncomfortable, Amanda. You know me, I'm an extrovert. I'm never home. On the weekends, I'm out partying, I'm out traveling, I'm doing something with my friends. I am having a really hard time with this because staying home, it's making me crazy. I'm so glad I redid my apartment, and I'm so glad I repainted, and I had some new furniture brought in, and I'm doing some organization. But good Lord, I need some involvement. And I actually was so excited to go to the grocery store the other day. I was excited. I'd never get excited to go to the grocery store.
There's oh my gosh, there's a meme that has like this girl in like literally like she is in her Sunday best prom dress, and she is at the grocery store. And she's like, how to get ready for something, and I died. I'm like, yes, like I'm trying to put mascara on when I go to the grocery store. Like, hey boo, I'm here. You know, I'm like, what else do we have to look forward to?
I'm going to go out glam, honey. Trust. I'm just putting on my makeup. I'm just putting my wigs on. I'm looking at every day in the mirror like, oh, my God, my hair's great. My hair is crazy, whatever. I will probably go to Trader Joe's next week, all glammed out. Everyone's going to think I'm crazy. But that's the only time I'm ever going to go out and show my butt right now. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's so true.
Put on some glitter. You never know. I don't know. I'll do something crazy. And speaking
of self-care, I'm dying. I had to take off my nails, and I was like, oh my gosh, like the littlest things that we took for granted. Like, I'm just gonna run and go get my dip manicure and, you know, get my toes painted. I'm like looking at my nails right now, like, oh gosh, wow. Wow.
Honey, we're gonna be sloths when we get out of this quarantine. The eyebrows, the hair, our grays are going to be coming in. The toenails are going to be looking like claws.
Girl, my eyebrows already connecting. I'm already only down to one eyebrow.
Oh my God, it's going to be hilarious. But anyways, I wanted to close this call. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective, a real perspective from a real woman. You know, no one's perfect. We all want to, we need to thrive. We need to continue thriving. And I'm going to have so many other people on this new type of podcast that I'm doing. We're still going to talk about travel and food and beauty and culture. But now, now, my main focus is community. We need to talk about our community, because that's all we have right now. You know, the travel, obviously on hold. Beauty, not so important. Food, absolutely. I mean, I've been cooking all kinds of crazy new foods, so we'll definitely talk about that. But, you know, the things that were so important in our lives literally a month ago are now so sideswiped, and it's about survival, keeping healthy, and staying strong in our homes with our families and making sure that we're all protected.
Right. And I want to leave with just saying that for all my moms out there that are putting so much pressure on themselves to, you know, be this teacher and this amazing wife and this amazing woman, that it is all about connection at this time, you know, building the connection with your kids and your spouse, and take the pressure off of yourself. You're human. And when this is all said and done, those are the memories that your children are going to cherish. So just remember that teachers are going to make up for this. Every single child, you know, is in the same boat as your child, and it's just a small fraction of their life. So I feel super blessed that I was able to be on here and laugh with you and share a little bit of my crazy.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Amanda. We appreciate
Yes,
you.
thank you. Talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you soon. Have a great and wonderful day.
Thanks, girl. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.